Um, so if you will, we have two translations of the same verse. So these two committees are looking at the exact same Hebrew words on the page, right? And they are choosing to translate the exact same set of words this way, right? They're not working with two different starting points. They're working with the same starting point, okay? He brought me to the banqueting house, or let him lead me to the banqueting hall. Any English majors in here want to comment on the distinction here? I mean, those are different verb tense, different intention going on here, right? He brought, past tense, let him lead me. Not a big deal, really, except that which one is correct, right? And his intention toward me was love. Well, now what do they mean by love anyway, right? But his intention toward me was love, past tense, and let his banner over me be love. Wow, those are two very different mental images for me. What about you? Also, I haven't done it as much for you all as I usually do in person, but I usually break into song quite a bit because I come from a background where we put a lot of scripture to song. And this is one of them. And the reason, so that's why we're looking at this, partly because the song that I'm thinking of is when we sang this song, we pictured ourselves talking about, it was us and Jesus, right? This is a song that's using scripture as a way to connect to God and to Christ, right? So he brought me to his banqueting table, and this is an echo, so then the half would sing back. He brought me to his banqueting table, and his banner over me is love, right? And so it's a very sweet, very genuine, heartfelt way of reflecting on the love that Christ has for all of his followers, or for the connection that people have to Christ, right? Not sexual, just very genuine and heartfelt. Brought me to his banquet, and I'm picturing, like a bunch of us sitting around a banqueting table, and his banner over me is love, right? So, and there's just all kinds of love, right? I mean, it was a beautiful image. Did I ever once go look at the context for this verse? No. Shall we look at the context? Should we look at the full chapter? I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. So she's saying that about herself, and then her lover says, as a lily among brambles, so is my love among maidens. The NIV is also very interesting. I'm not going to get into that right now. As an apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved among young men. With great delight I sat in his shadow, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. Right? She's giving him a blowjob, right? I mean, she's fondling his balls, right? Like we've got something going on here, right? He brought me to the banqueting house, and his intention toward me was love. Sustain me with raisins and apples are absolutely associated with sensuality and sexuality. Are you kidding me? Sustain me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am faint with love. I'm weak at the knees, baby. Ready to go. Oh, that his left hand were under my head, and that his right hand embraced me. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles or the wild does, do not stir up or awaken love until it is ready. Actually, this is more like, don't start something you're not willing to see through. Because once you start me up, and never stop, right? That's what she's saying here. Oh my gosh, I was singing a beautiful love song to Jesus that is being pulled literally right out of one of the most erotic sections of this book. And I had no clue. Okay, so I think I made my point here, right? The Christian tradition, Jewish tradition in general, way more comfortable reading all of this as a love between God and the people than actually being willing to acknowledge that it's just soft erotica, right? So that should tell us something about, that gives us a nod toward the larger picture and why so many people within Christian traditions, Christian or Catholic, have such skewed perspectives on sexuality, first of all, for one thing, right? When your own scriptures actually do try to celebrate sexuality, but you're prevented from being able to embrace that, right? I mean, that tells you that there's an issue with the leadership and their perspective on ability to talk about sex in any kind of healthy way, right? So big ramifications here. Other questions? What other questions do you have for me before we move on? No, we're good? Well then,